Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So in this video we are going to go through the Fusion Extreme Super Battle Road stage. In the Fusion Extreme Super Battle Road stage we have opted for a team consisting of AGL Gogeta, Int Gogeta, Strength Gotenks, Int Transforming Gotenks, Ghost Tanks, and a friend strength 100% 10 level linked strength Gogeta LR. The strength Gogeta LR we're generally going to keep in third slot for turns 1 and 3 until he transforms, and then otherwise we are going to run the main rotations being the Int Gogeta alongside the physical LR, Angel and Goku LR, and then we're going to also have the AGL Gogeta linked for the most part with the strength Gogeta when he is able to come onto rotation. Otherwise we are just going to float around the ghost tanks as best suited. So in this stage, one of the main reasons why we took the strength Gogeta as our friend lead is because 100% level link 10 strength Gogeta does have decent enough defense to do ESBR, but more importantly he carries quite a substantial amount of offensive capability compared to the physical LR. The physical LR is very good. Obviously the lead skill is one of the best in the game for the fusion category, but he can be lacking in offense, one because we don't usually get the transformation, and two because he generally tops out at about 3 or 4 million even fully link leveled. Similarly, the AGL Gogeta also would have been a very suitable lead, but essentially the strength Gogeta LR is just a more improved offensive version of the AGL Gogeta, so there's no real reason to take the AGL Gogeta over the strength one. So for this we took the strength Gogeta. If you are struggling to find a 100% strength Gogeta link level 10 friend, then maybe go for the physical LR. It's probably the next best bet. But what we're going to do here is we're going to focus down the Spopovich, the strength Spopovich, and we're going to try and clear him out the way, just so he can't do any damage to our physical type units, because we have quite a few int type units, so we're quite solid with the tech category friend that's going to remain behind. Int Gogeta is one of the absolute mainstays of this team. I definitely suggest running him. Suitable replacements for the Int Super Saiyan Gogeta will be the Int SS4 Gogeta, who's probably equally as good as this EZA, if not better, with his active skill. So I definitely would suggest you're going to need one of those. Not need them, I think it is possible without them, but you definitely, one of the things that's going to help you a lot with this stage is obviously having them all linked level 10 or close, or at least high link levels. All mine are at about link level 7 and 8. They're very highly linked leveled. Even the units that are not at 100%, so I obviously got very fortunate with my fusion team, but even the units like Go Tanks, you know, he is at 55%, but you're going to want to link level them. Then also gear, you're going to want to stick some decent gear on your units. Don't bother sticking defensive equipment on your units unless it is the strength Gogeta that you're using. If you're using strength Gogeta, maybe popping a defensive equipment on him won't be so bad, at least for this stage, but otherwise go full offense on all of your units. Generally you're going to want to go additional with these kind of Gogeta units because they are super effective against all types. So you're definitely going to want to build into additionals with most of them, and especially the Int Gogeta, the AGL Gogeta, the Strength LR Gogeta, the any Gogeta really. Only really the Goku and Angel physical LR you might want to go crit on, because getting his transformation is pretty rare overall. It's not something you're going to see very often. Even in stages like this, in Extreme Super Battle Road and SBR, you're going to struggle to see his transformation. I see it more in long form events than I do in these short form events. But that's really the only tips I can give you. Definitely build more into the offense. The Fusion Saga doesn't have great defensive capabilities. I mean, Gotenks is good defensively, but he's one of a dime and a dozen. Gogeta's also good defensively. Like, when I say they don't have defense, they're good defensively, but what I mean is just build into their offense. They're not going to be units that hit 200, 300k defense like Int Broly, for example, in my Extreme Class SBR. You're going to want to just roll into their offense and just focus on eliminating targets. Because they're super effective against all types, you don't have to prioritize targets. You generally just want to prioritize whoever's going to do the most damage to your team. Like, for example, we're prioritizing Dabura because Dabura can do a large proportion of damage to the strength LR Gogeta that we have on the team. And that's something we really want to avoid. The next one we'll probably focus on, at least with stunning, is the Pui Pui, because we want him to be stunned, because if he is able to launch a super attack, he could damage the various amounts of int units that we have, so we just want to keep him in check there. But yeah, other than that, because most of them are super effective against all types, except for obviously the Ghost Tanks and the Go Tanks, you are quite free to just target whoever you want, and I would suggest mainly focusing a target until they die. It's definitely the way to go here, because you more than likely want to get rid of the target rather than just kind of hang around and hope that you can get rid of multiple targets in one turn. Getting rid of a single target here is definitely worth more overall, so I would definitely do that. And we're going to go for the stun on the Yakon, just to try and stop that damage coming in next turn against the LR, and then yeah, we should be more than fine. Pui Pui is going to take a lot of damage. He might not die to the LR Gogeta, but he's going to take a lot of damage, or die to the LR Gogeta, that too. We are a little bit unlucky in getting supered here, which is going to do quite a large amount of damage, but again, because he's 100% and he's Link level 10, he's not going to take as much damage as, say, a 55% would, and even then a 55% wouldn't get us killed. So I mean, that is the most important thing. Obviously AGL Gogeta is very, very solid. Unfortunately, we didn't get the additional that we needed to take out the Dabura there, nor did we get the stun. So even though that was a good turn damage wise, we did lose out a little bit there, but that's still more than fun. We're going to pop an item. We got some left. We're not too bad in terms of items, but yeah, we should be more than fine here. The Int Gogeta will have the ability to evade with his 1 Rainbow Orb. Obviously he gains the attack buff with his 2 Rainbow Orbs, and with his 3rd Rainbow Orb he has his high chance to crit. So that's what we're aiming for here. We've got him 4, so he is more than ready to go, and he's going to be able to take out that Dabura for us. So that is something that is a perk. Obviously here we have the LR hitting 4 million, very impressive. And we have managed to remove Dabura from the fight, which is good. That now means we don't have a big damage risk to our Gogeta next turn, and we're going to be able to hopefully utilize his damage to take out these remaining enemies. We're going to go for the stun here, which we do not get, unfortunately. Ghost Tank stun chance is pretty decent, but obviously we missed it there. But overall, Ghost Tanks is definitely probably the go-to free-to-play unit for this Fusion SBR. I would highly suggest that you run Go Tanks for this Fusion SBR. It is definitely something that you should be doing. He is a incredibly useful free-to-play card that you can utilize. We've obviously got the transformation now, so we're just trying to evaluate who to put where. Go Tanks obviously has the ability to stun, but we're going to put in the AGL, mainly due to his ability to dodge. The Strength Gogeta's dodge chance is not great in first slot. Essentially he would gain a massive key bonus, but we have more chance of mitigating more damage with the Gogeta in the slot than we do if we run the Strength Gogeta there. So we're going to hear a lot of Gogetas. That is the fusion team essentially. But yeah, so we've got a crit apparently, but very good damage there. We're going to hopefully be able to take out Yak on this turn. We've got Gogeta coming in, really impressive attack stats. He's now super effective against all types as well, which means this attack is going to be a very solid 4.5 million. If you do have SS4 Gogeta, I do highly recommend using him. Obviously his defensive stats are great, but just not only his defensive stats, his active ability, his ability to reduce attack and defense by 40%, his general stats is like super effective against all types, his evasion, his countering is all just overall super useful, and he still probably is one of the best, if not the best, fusion unit in the game currently. So I definitely still would prioritize, if you have him, he's definitely the one to go to in your main rotation. Other useful fusion cards that I can think of off the top of my head, the physical Go tanks, not the SS3 but the Super Saiyan one, can be a very solid form of offense and defense after he stacks attack, plus he has the ability to seal. And then obviously we have the SS3 Go tanks, who has not received his EZA on Global, so he's not as useful as you might think, but he will get better once he gets his EZA. The Tech SS3 Go tanks can also be very good. You just have to be very careful with how you key manage that unit, because you obviously want to get his 11 key attack. So this final stage here, you'll wonder why I'm using 2 items. It's because I caught 2 type disadvantage supers in my first attempt at Fusion Saga SBR, ESBR, and died in one turn. Perfectly fine, had 5 items left, but died in the first turn. So I got a little bit suspicious there, and decided to rather dish out 2 items to just kind of get my claws sunk into the stage, and just get myself settled in, and hopefully get some transformations going, and just get some damage out, because this is quite a tough last fight. Both boos hit really hard, and you need to be careful of both. The physical one obviously has advantage against most of our int units, and the AGL one has advantage against our weakest defensive units, the Strength Allow Gogeta and the Strength Go tanks. So we do have to be a little bit careful about both of these cards, but luckily we're getting some really good damage out from Strength Allow Gogeta and from the AGL Gogeta with the Dokkan attack. So at this point we're not too concerned. If we can get the stun here, that's really going to help set us up for a super solid next turn, and we do. So like I said, we're really set up. We're going to take a attack here, 210, that's with 2 items, 210,000. Obviously we didn't grab multiple rainbow orbs or anything with the ghost tanks, which would have severely reduced the amount of damage that he would have taken. But yeah, that is just still with 2 items. I mean, that's a lot of damage. So unfortunately here we had very unfortunate orb placement. So we did struggle to get super attacks, and for some reason my fully additional rainbowed Gogeta has not decided to additional at all, really. I think he's done it once or twice this SBR run. So yeah. Now the thing we have to be careful of here, obviously, is taking attacks on the LR Strength Gogeta. So we are going to pop an item, and we're going to pop a Android 8. I know we're not low on health, but ideally we can get rid of the physical boo this turn, and then we can hopefully get the stun on the AGL boo, which will allow us to kind of drop a megaton of damage on him next turn, and hopefully remove him, and then we can get the transformations, and we should be able to clear out the boo. So we are getting some good damage. That super effective against all types is really kicking in and helping out here. We're not getting any of the slight chances to evade, but that's okay. It's not his biggest gimmick, it's more just something that can really help out. As you can see, Gogeta doing some real good work there against the Boo, and we've now managed to remove him, which is very important, and we get the stun. So we're now perfectly set up for next turn, hopefully to do a massive amount of damage and really give us a good shot at cleaning things up in the third turn against this AGL Boo. We're going to get 4 Rainbow Orbs here, which is obviously really going to beef up the Int Gogeta. He's going to get 40% attack bonus, he's going to get the crit chance, and that's really going to help him out. Hopefully we can get these stun with Go Tanks as well. Ghost Tanks. Obviously we're also lowering attack and defense with Gogeta, but unfortunately lowering attack and defense even twice like this isn't really going to help allow strength Gogeta if this Boo decides to super him or normal attack him. So we do need to be super careful of that, because even with multiple attack lowerings, these cards still hit very hard. But we get the stun, so at this point we're more than okay with taking on the next stage. We will definitely clear it up and finish it next turn. Go Tanks is going to transform. I wish we could let him do his thing, but we have probably the 2 coolest transforming cards in the game, or at least one of them, one of the original coolest transforming cards, and then his very clear replacement with his perfectly animated transformation. And we're going to have, I think we can get the strength one to finish it off. Unfortunately we won't have his active skill, so we can't see that cool KO screen, but we're going to do some really impressive damage here. Both of these units are very high up on the scales, both 100%, very decent link leveling, good gear, just missing some support to see those crazy attack numbers. So 2.6 million on Gogeta, very solid. He also has a very high chance at additionaling, he's got a high chance at evading, and we're going to finish it off with the strength allow. So yeah, very impressive overall, very clean run. My Fusion Saga team is highly optimized, so yeah, probably one of my cleaner, easiest runs. On a ESBR that's quite difficult. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, cheers and bye.